Okay, that was the most amazing dinner.
That was very good.
It was the most amazing dinner we've ever had. Best time ever. Okay, so I said that I would talk a little bit about the marathon.
Yeah. Oh, we got our New York Times.
A couple things that you need to know
Christy's
about
name is in here.
about the New York City Marathon is the day after you have to get the New York Times because they, well, not for everyone, but for most people,
I think if you're under a certain time.
if you're under a certain time, they put your name in the New York Times. So, where did you find yours yet? No, you're on this. So you're on one of these pages. I think you're on this page somewhere.
I'm probably over here.
So cool.
Wait, where was it?
But look, you can see everyone's
It's
name.
somewhere. It doesn't matter, but yeah.
And we also went to get our medals engraved. And what else did we do? Oh, we went up to the, back to the finish line, and they have this big area where you can get merch, and we bought some swag. And I found mine. It's further back. Let me show it. And then, okay, here we go. 410. Here, I'll show you. Ready? 10:52. There I am. Wait, can I? There it is. Altomare. Yay! So fun. And okay, so I woke up at 4:00 in the morning, and the bus picked us up right outside my house, which was crazy. It was just like luck of the draw. And I was on this bus, which was like the celebrity bus. So all of like the celebrities that were running were all on this crazy bus. So it was so cool because there were Olympic medalists. You found your name? Pete found his name. Wait. Okay, let's show it.
No,
where is
right.
it? Actually, I showed mine. Okay, where is it?
Okay.
Show me.
Right there.
Where is it? Right there.
Proof.
Proof? I don't see it. Hold on.
It's there. It's alright. You don't have to show them.
Okay. Proof. My room is
proof
such a
Proof that
mess.
Christy is faster than me.
My room is a mess. And then so we get on the I get on this bus, and we go to this amazing tent where there's like snacks and all sorts of things. And then there were these two red double-decker buses, like the double-decker buses that you go on when you're touring through New York City. And they were along the side of the starting area. So we went up the double-decker bus onto the top, and we were able to watch the, what do you call it? The what is it where they're, like, people who are wheelchair accessible, they use those what is it, like when they're racing and they race with the wheels? What is that called?
I thought it was just a wheelchair.
The wheelchair? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was so cool. So we got to see that. And what they do is they spout off cannons. So I didn't realize this, but did they do that for every wave? They spouted off a cannon?
Yeah, it was a cannon for us.
So the cannons were so close, and we got to see the race begin, and that was so cool. And then I got asked to leave, and I go into this special private area, and Mayor de Blasio was there, and he gave a little speech, and a bunch of other people, and then I sang the national anthem, and what was it?
There were 3 helicopters that did a low flyby. MIP helicopters.
There were, right when I finished singing, like, home of the brave, and I just hear, like, vroom, and right above my head were these helicopters that, like, flew overhead, which was so crazy. And then I came down, and me and, like, the rest of the people that were on the bus with me were filtered in from the first wave, and a lot of the people there had been training like religiously for the last 3 months, so they were super pumped. And a lot of people had like done the marathon many times. So I was I was amongst like one or two that were like the first time that we'd ever done a marathon, which was crazy. And
Show 'em your,
oh yeah, and this is another thing that they do for every marathon is they give you you get a poncho if you don't check a bag. And so these ponchos are so warm. Yeah, I think so. So these ponchos, they're so warm and they're fleece lined, which was insane. And so we got these little ponchos. And you just walk around New York City like a little...
all snug.
Like a little snug bunny. And, which was actually perfect because it was cold out. Like, when you were running, you felt perfect. But then the second you stopped, it got cold. So this was amazing. Like, I was, like, sweating and gross, and it was freezing. And this, like, kept me so warm. So anyway. So then after that, Pete and I waited for Pete to finish. I guess then I ran the race, which was insane. And once I was totally fine until I hit mile 8. And the second I hit mile 18, I hit what they call as the wall, which no one ever really warns you, but basically you're just exhausted nonstop until the end. And so I just kept going. But I made a pact to myself that I was not going to stop no matter what. So I didn't stop, and I just kept going. And it was so crazy because this has never happened to me before, but usually at the end of a race, if I'm getting towards the end and I know I'm getting towards the end, I sprint to the end. But for whatever reason, I was so exhausted at the end. For whatever reason, I was so exhausted at the end.
Miles.
I was at the end of this race. I remember when I was at the last mile, I was just exhausted, and I just kept saying to myself, don't stop, because you're so tired at that point. Literally the last 2 miles you just want to stop the entire time. You just, like, the entire time. Pete had a completely different experience than me, but I just wanted to stop the entire time. But I didn't stop the entire time. It was crazy.
I just had fun. Didn't feel tired.
Pete, there are pictures of Pete just like high-fiving people. Apparently there was a cat, somebody on the side of the the marathon route had a cat that like just had his little like paw out.
People
were gently giving the cat high fives. What was the other stuff you saw? I couldn't see anything because I was so exhausted.
A lot of live bands, like really good bands, and funny stuff. People were just having fun. The whole crowd was really into it. It was awesome. It was like a party.
But it was so cool because I had Christy on my shirt. So every time I ran and someone was like, way to go, Christy, you got this. Like, I'd be so dead tired, but someone would say my name, and I'd be like, I can do it, I can. Even though I was just, like, dead. But, like, towards the end, like, towards mile, like, 25, when people were like, go, Christy, you got this, I would just, like, I had no energy to smile and look back at the person, so I'd just be like, anyway. And then what would you say was, like, the worst part of the run, if you were, like, to say what's, like, the worst part? Like, the hardest part of the run for you?
I mean, I got a little achy towards the end, but, like, I still felt alright. Nothing that bad.
For me, I think it was the Queensboro Bridge.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
So
it was weird, because the Bronx is when some of the, like, achiness and the pain started to settle in, but at the same time, you were in the Bronx, you're, like, at mile 20-something, so you're like, I know I'm going to be alright.
Okay, that was not me. I wasn't, like, at mile 20-something going, I know I'm going to be
It
alright.
was still fun. Fifth Avenue, you started to feel it a lot more, and it's a gradual incline, but at the same time, like, we knew it was the end, so it was alright.
It's just so funny, because I didn't really know what the route was, and so everybody's like, yeah, and then you get into Manhattan, and then...
Fifth Avenue's at the end. It's, like, mile, like, 22.
And then they were like, and at the end, you run through the park. So I kept waiting to run through the park because I love the park so much. And we did most of our training in Central Park. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't wait to get to the park. But then we ran basically the length of the park outside of the park on Fifth Avenue. Right?
Yeah.
So we're running forever just outside the park. And I, like, can see the park on the side of me. Like, when am I going to get in the park? And it was forever. But then Pete's sister was there, so we got to see his sister and like her kids, and that was fun. So then we finally get to the end, and I'm waiting for Pete for a
while. You started before and finished.
I did started
earlier and ran faster.
Yeah. And so I waited in the cold, but thankfully I had a poncho. And then at the end, I find out Pete had made a friend on the run and just was like hanging out, chilling,
just
running.
Laughed and ran and
just laughing and running.
What was your favorite part of the race, Christy?
Mile 17 was right after the Queensboro. So the Queensboro Bridge just gradually goes up forever. So you're just like going. As you're running, everyone's stopping to walk around you, and you're just like, because apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently that's a strategy, is everyone, once they get to that bridge, is they start to walk up it instead of run up it because it's so much. So I was just like running uphill, which seems like forever. And then finally I was like, I know this bridge is going to go down. So once it starts going down, you're fine. And you're like, okay, I'm fine. And so we went down. And then by the end of that bridge, because you go down for so long, you're like fine and you're ready to go. And there's so many people just cheering you on the other side. And I had a moment, Pete, where I just I started
once you turn on First Avenue, there's so many people cheering you on.
Because there was so much energy and it was so electric, and it was like the first time I wasn't tired, and I just started to cry. I was so happy. I was like, I'm doing this, I'm running the marathon. And then started to cry, saw your sister, laughed, gave everyone high fives, ran 2 more seconds, and then instantly became exhausted. And I was like, I was so happy, and now I can't do it anymore for some reason. It was crazy. And so the rest of the time, I was just like, get through it. You can get through it. It's like you're running at that point on sheer determination. That's basically what it is.
The Queensboro Bridge was also cool because it got really quiet all of a sudden. I mean, the crowd cheering was the best part, but the contrast.
Did you
of
read
all of a
some
sudden
really
was
cool posters along the way?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of funny posters.
There was some really funny ones.
People were even stopping on the Queensboro Bridge because the view was so good, and people were stopping and taking pictures, and it was just beautiful. The whole bridge, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was such a pretty day too, yeah.
One of the crazy things is people will always put on posters who needs toenails, because apparently this is a thing where people lose their toenails at the end of a race. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, it happens, yeah.
Apparently that's a thing. I'm so lucky because I did not have that happen to me, but that is pretty scary. But you do get this thing called, this is kind of gross that we're talking about this.
What?
But chafing happens.
Oh.
And you get these random cuts that you had no idea you were going to get. So you're running,
I don't
and
know
then
if people viewing knew they were getting all this info.
I have cuts on my hips, because you don't realize where your fabric hits your skin, you can get a cut, and so it's just crazy. This is I should not have said that,
No,
but it's
for
true.
sure. Yeah,
That's what
the
happens
truth.
when you run a marathon. It's the last thing you think about, because I've been running 1 or 2 miles my whole life, but then it's when you times that by for so much, and you're running 26 miles.
You know what? It's funny you said Mile 17 was your favorite, because it might have been my favorite too. It's
Really?
First Avenue. Well, Brooklyn
Mile
was my
17
favorite
was my favorite.
Brooklyn is just so cool, and it's a huge party. But once you're running up First Avenue, it's such a straight shot.
Yeah.
And you can see forever, and it's just this massive crowd of people running, and then huge crowds on each side of the street, and everyone's cheering like crazy. It was just so much fun. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And at that point, you've already been through all of
You've
Brooklyn,
been through so
all of
much, and so you
Queens,
feel
Staten
so
Island.
accomplished.
Yeah.
Because
and at that point, you also know you're finishing.
Yeah, because
At that point, I'm getting through this.
Yeah, because when you train, a lot of it ends up being 16 miles, 18 miles. So you spend a lot of time in that range.
And then you get
so you
past
train a
that,
lot
yeah.
in that range, but the farthest you go when you train for the most part is 20 miles. So when you get to that 18, 17, 16 mile range, you've done it enough that you're like, okay, I know what this is. So your body just feels good, and your body probably thinks you're done. And then you get to that 20 miler, and you're after 20, and you're just like, because your body is not really used to 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
So you're still running, and you're just exhausted. And I saw my time just I was like, okay, because I have this the other thing is they never tell you when you run a marathon all the stuff that you have to get, because otherwise, and you don't have to get it, but so I got the watch that shows my pacing, and as I'm running, I was looking at it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going slower. And then I talked to Liat afterwards. She's like, you're not supposed to look at your time constantly the whole entire time you're running.
About it. I was just having a good time.
The whole time I was running, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to speed up. Oh my gosh, I have to slow down.
I was running half the time. I'm just having fun.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, how do I gauge this? How do I gauge this? How do I know?
We were finishing like I could go a little further, but we finished strong at the end. We had a good time.
Meanwhile, I'm like on death's door.
At the end, we kicked it in the
Like I just kept telling myself the whole time, like just don't stop, and like literally to the point where like I was like praying my legs wouldn't just give out, because that's what you think when like you're that exhausted, is that like my brain might be saying keep going, but my body might just stop. So I was like, is it gonna stop? Whereas other people have like other issues, like they ate too much and they feel nauseous or stuff. Like I was just like, just don't give out, don't give out. But it was so cool because you don't realize little stuff like on the parade route. Sorry, on the marathon route.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, but on the marathon route, there's like people with gels to give you energy, and there's Gatorade, and there's water, and there's people that were like handing out like sticks for like if you chafe, and there's people that at one point there were like, did you see those like scrub sponges?
Oh yeah, like when it's really hot, people use those a lot.
There were sponges for water.
On you.
So like the whole time you're running, like especially towards the higher mileage, there's all these people like on the sides giving you things, so you feel like, okay, I'm fine. And there were like slices of fruit,
biofreeze in case you're like achy. I didn't have to use it.
Yeah, but it's just cool because it's like clearly as you're running it, you realize like so many people, even people along the route, were people who had run the marathon before, so they understand what it's like. And the best was towards the end when you're on death's door. Like, what did you say? You saw people with pitchforks saying, like...
the end is near.
The end is near. Like, it's just, like, people get it. Like, they understand you're dying, and it's just the humor along the route was, like, really sweet and fun.
And you know what? And the other people who were running, there were all types of people who were running.
Yeah.
I mean, people who with a runner's build, thin bodies, there were bigger people. You know, you can be skinny, you can be fat. All different types of people ran it.
Yeah, it was really inspiring.
A lot of really inspiring people.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was something that I will never forget.
It was
a magical
all over
day.
the world. All over the world. It was amazing.
Yeah. And everybody at New York Roadrunner, just like everything went off without a hitch. It was organized so well, and everybody felt so special. No matter what wave you're in, we all felt special.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. How are you feeling today, Christy?
I'm in excruciating pain. Pete was like, we got to keep walking because we can't like just sit. So we spent the day walking, and like the first half of the day I was fine, and then the second half of the day I was like shuffling, like I could barely walk. But yeah, we went and we like got our. Pete feels totally fine. But I did run 29 minutes faster than you.
29 minutes faster. That's faster than a mile a minute. That's significant.
Anyway, we had a magical night.
It was a really good experience. It was a really, really good experience running the marathon.
So, life is good. What does tomorrow entail? Spa day?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a spa day.
Yeah, I think so.
And, we're grateful.
Mission
accomplished.
Very, very grateful.
Pete took off his
New York City experience.
His medal. I'm going to take off mine. Now we hang it up somewhere to be proud.
Mm-hmm.
It was a special time, and I felt honored to be a part of it. And to have worked so hard was really cool.
Chrissy, you did an awesome job.
Thank you, and you did an awesome job. Did I specify that Pete had a really, really, really rough training period?
I mean, yeah, it was all right. I got through it, you know.
But he had, like, little things along the way. Like,
little injuries here
little
and there.
Injuries along the way that slowed him down. And because of that, he thought he was going to walk the whole time. And the fact that you didn't, and I
didn't walk at all.
You didn't walk at all is pretty insane.
Yeah. But I was very lucky.
And they always say the day, you could train nonstop up until, and the day of, there's no rhyme or reason. You could have a horrible day or a good day. That's what's so crazy about a marathon, is you could have like the worst day ever or the best day ever, and it's just that's the way the cookie crumbles. So
it was a lot of fun.
So we
were both very, very lucky.
We were really fortunate.
Very fortunate.
No injuries, knock on wood, and
And the whole crowd was so awesome the whole way.
Yeah.
Everyone cheering us on.
We're so lucky we live in New York.
Yeah. But anyone can come here and do it. That's the fun thing.
And that's what's so cool is a lot of people were not from New York.
The whole world. Yeah,
the
it was
whole world.
awesome.
Really cool. Anyway, I didn't even say hi to people, but hi everyone watching. Yay, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lily, Talon, Ashley. Ashley, how are you? Or am I going to do it again next year?
Maybe. It was fun.
It was really fun, but it was a lot of time and effort. You don't realize, like, a half marathon, I think I trained for, like, 3 times.
You ran, like, 3 times.
I ran 5 miles, then I ran 6 miles, then I ran 7 miles, and I was like, okay, that's enough, and then you do it. You know, it's really, like, simple. But a marathon, you have to train for months, or else you're going to hurt yourself, or you just won't finish.
I said I would never do it again, but it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. So, I don't know.
It was a lot of fun. Liat says it's like Christmas. Because what's really cool, the other thing that we didn't really talk about is right before the marathon is there's the expo. And the expo is kind of cool.
It's where you pick up your race number.
You pick up your bib, and there's all of these little stations, and it's really fun. We had a really good time. So I get it. I understand the culture. I get why people run marathons. I get why it's fun. You get a medal.
It's also fun to cheer people on in the marathon if you're not running. You know, just going to school.
There's so many things that are cool about it. And we could not have picked better weather.
Oh my gosh, we got so lucky.
It was the best. Because as you were running, there were these crazy cold waves that would just come over you.
Oh, like a nice cold breeze was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. Hello, Chase. Hello, Leanne. Hello, Grace. Hello. Oh, my God. Yvette. Hello. Liz. Andrea. Ginny. Hi. Oh, guys. I love you all. Thank you for watching right now. We have the same name. Oh, yay. Christy. But you spell it different with a K. Congrats. Thank you so much. Updates on the album. Yes, because I said it was coming out in October. Now it's not October. So life happens, and I wasn't able to get it out as fast as usual. But I've been working on it.
It's coming along. Yeah.
And it's coming along really well. We were supposed to record the first 3 songs October 31st, but then something came along that derailed it. But hopefully all of November I'll be the goal was to finish it in November, but at this point it's going to get stinks, but it's going to get like pushed back a little further. But literally could not be happier with the way things are turning out, and I'm really proud of the work that I'm doing on it. So even though it might take a little bit longer, I cannot wait for it to come out. And the goal is to get it on vinyl and to sell, because people don't buy CDs anymore. So I think I'm going to do vinyl, and I think what we're going to do is and digital downloads. So that's the goal. But I'm really excited and proud of all the hard work, because I worked so hard on this, and it's all my own original material. It's not songs that people have heard before. So I hope you guys like it. I've been writing songs for quite some time, and I'm really proud. So it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought, but it's really on its way, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I just heard the production of the first 3 songs, but I'm going to go in the studio to record the vocals soon, and it sounds so good. I'm like freaking
the songs
out.
Are awesome.
Yeah, I decided for a while I was going to go the folk route, but then recently I had a change of heart, and it's going to be like pop. It's going to be a pop record, so I'm really, really excited, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Yay! Thank you so much for saying Morgster. You're singing Crossing a Bridge. Good luck for an audition. So excited. That's a good song. Will you do a release concert? Oh, yes, I hope so. Once I know it's getting done. Hi from Australia. Studying abroad. Thank you so much. What do you listen to when you're running? Oh, I had the most epic album of music.
I only listen to live music. all the bands on the side of the.
Oh yeah, Pete was so mad when he found out that I was going to be wearing headphones. He's like, "There's bands the whole way through."
The bands were awesome.
There were some really cool bands along the parade route, but I listened to my headphones like pretty low, so when I passed a band, like that music overtook. But I'll tell you some of my favorite running songs. I love. I listened to that one song. I'm on top of the world. Hey, I'm on top of the world. Take you with me if I can. I like to listen to positive sounding music. I listen to, what else is on the album? There's a song called I'm Born to Run. It's like, I'm born to run down rocky cliffs. There's a thunder song. I forget what it's, lightning then the thunder. What's another one? Oh my god!
Inspirational songs.
Yeah, all my songs are. Everything I listen to is like super inspirational. The Heist, got asked on the streets of NYC for a woman inspiration. Oh, and she said it was you. Oh, that's really sweet. Can you persuade my school to do Anastasia for school musical? I love you, by the way. Oh, thank you so much. Well, I don't think that it's available yet for high school release. I don't think they've done it yet. But when they do, you'll probably be the first to know about it because you'll start hearing that other high schools are doing it. But I think that they wait a little bit. They let it be done abroad, and right now there's Anastasia all over the world, and then eventually it'll go regional, and then eventually it'll be licensed for high schools. That's the hope. Probably very soon. I just got cast in one of Cinderella's stepsisters. We're in the midst of rehearsals. So excited. Congratulations. Any plans to return to Broadway? I don't know. Okay, there's some things percolating in the future, so keep your eyes peeled. I would give anything to meet you again. Oh, thank you. This is kind of random, but like, what's your favorite original song from yourself? I love Actors Paradise. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wrote Actors Paradise my first year of college. It's literally the most authentic thing I've ever written. It's so honest and raw and totally from the heart, and totally how I feel about performing. It's like never gonna stop. It's like you just keep going, and that's kind of how it is. Please put just like it's just like Christmas as a bonus track. That's actually not a bad idea. I would have to talk to the people who did the backtracking for that to see if I could get the rights. It might be kind of tricky, but I'll give a look into that. Really enjoyed your workshop in October. But actually, if you want, it's just like Christmas. You can buy it off of the Christmas album. Want to teach 6-year-old to sing anything you can suggest a 6-year-old to sing. Generally, I think what I heard is you should start voice lessons when you're 13 years old, when you're young. Because I heard that it's not healthy to take voice lessons when you're too young. But you should, don't quote me on that, but you should look into that. It depends on, I know that I started when I was like 13, 14 years old taking private voice lessons. There might be something that's healthy for young kids, but I think that you don't want to go too crazy with voice lessons with young kids. It's like a thing. You wait till later in life. I'm still thinking about your talk from Broadway Evolved. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Maybe for a 6-year-old, if I can learn to do it, you can learn.
Yeah. Oh, like a song that a 6-year-old could sing?
Yeah.
I think she meant about like teaching a lesson. But I could learn to do it would be a good song for you. When I met you is the best day of my life. Oh, thank you, Grace. Hi, Queen. Hi, Sarah. Are you excited about Derek's return to the Broadhurst? Yes, I am. I'm so happy for him, and I think that show's going to be the show of the season. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. They just joined. I don't know if you answered this already, but any plans for new Broadway or movies? I don't know. We'll see. I have your Truth from Broadway Workshop on my wall. Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing. I always talk when I do Broadway Workshop about the 3 truths, the things that I call the truth. And thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I think that those things are really true. We need a Christy Christmas album. Oh my gosh, I would love that. We need to do that. Pete, you want to sing on my album with me?
No, I'm good.
No, definitely not. Maybe I'll get Derek to sing on that with me.
Yeah, I think they're better.
Derek and I sing well. Okay, wedding updates. Pete?
I want to know.
No wedding updates. We'll give you.
You let me know where and when.
We're just so happy right now that we know wedding planning is so exhausting and tiring. I think part of us was like, we need to run the marathon and Christy needs to finish her album and then eventually we'll plan a wedding. Christy, do you have tips for auditioning for a musical? Oh man, that's like a tenfold question. But I guess at the end of the day, remember how special you are and how unique you are. Work really hard and bring what you can to the table. And that's the best thing that you could ask for. Take a deep breath, and if ever you get nervous, know it's a rite of passage, that all actors get really nervous. I sang for you at one of your workshops, and I can't thank you enough. Oh my gosh, Luna. Oh, thank you for what you had to say. Luna, are you doing Broadway Princess Party? Yes, I am. On random times. I'm not like a permanent member of Broadway Princess Party, but I'm so honored when they ask me to come and hang out at certain cities, and I love to be a part of it when I can. And I believe in it so much, and I think it is such a beautiful and healing show that just brings so much joy, and I feel so honored to be a part of it when I can. And it's just like a blast, and we always have so much fun, and it's never the same. It's always a little bit different. The shows are always evolving, and everyone that's a part of it is really smart and really like funny and incredibly professional. And because of that, it just makes it a blast, and everyone's super seasoned, and we all get along really well, and it's just such a good vibe. So even if I'm not in it, go see it, because it's just such a special thing that exists right now, and I'm so happy it's around. Frozen is already licensed for high school. Oh my gosh, really? That's really cool. I don't really know that always happens right away like that, but sometimes it does. I hope you got the poem I sent you. It was in a good frame. Oh, well, I'm sure I got it. Oh, Madison. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that. Thank you so much, Madison. Yes, Pete. Yes, get Derek. People, they're like, Pete, can you sing? So people are like,
nah,
undecided. Maybe Derek, maybe you.
I think Derek's the better choice.
Okay, maybe Derek's the better choice. Auditioning, make my life so much better. Oh, thank you. Camilla, please sing a song with Pete. Pete, you know what? Secretly, Pete is an amazing singer.
I'm not. I can't sing. I don't sing.
He's a really good singer.
No,
he just refuses to sing.
You've never even heard me sing. I've never heard myself.
Can I live stream more? Yes. My plan forever and always was to start a YouTube channel with Amy. And Amy and I are so down, and this is what I plan to do. I actually went out and got like a very good camera. I have some really good cameras, but I wanted to get like something newer and that was like more state of the art. And I got it and I was all ready to go. And then like a couple things got in the way of starting. And it's just gonna, like, other projects and things, like, kind of got in the way. And so because of that, I haven't been able to start it up, but I know it's happening. And Amy's always like, I'm ready when you are. So keep your eyes out. Eventually that will be something that happens. And nobody asked for it, but it's just something I really wanted to do. And it's kind of like a dream of mine. Thank you so much. Thank you. And also time is going to be a lot easier now that Pete and I are no longer running constantly to complete this marathon. The one thing nobody tells you is that marathons take so much time.
Yeah, all
they
week.
take so much time. Question for Pete: how is the firefighting going? How's your
cool.
firefighting going,
yeah, it's
Pete?
fun.
It's fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
Any interesting things to report?
Not really. No.
You like
It's
your
fun
job?
running with the running club, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Pete ran with the FDNY running club, and we went to the FDNY party afterwards, which was really cool. And actually just so heartwarming because there were so many families there.
A lot
and
of really good people.
Pete just was like, I felt like it was going to be 4 people, and it was this massive group of, it was a party. It was a big party.
Yeah,
and
those were like 15 guys with a lot of people.
And they had a big medal ceremony. It was really cool. It was really cool to feel like you were a part of something, and
yeah, it was a lot
and the
of fun.
food was so good. It was really fun.
Yeah, we did a really good job.
Even though you're not hungry after running a marathon, but I forced Pete to eat. I was like, we need to make sure we eat something. Oh my God, the frame. Can we make a new one for your album? What? Did you see any of the cheer cards along the course? Yeah, no. We saw a bunch of them. My favorite one was one where a girl said, pain is temporary. So by the end,
saw it at the right moment.
I was riding on my stage manager's words because she's run a few marathons before, and like her best words were, she was like, Christy, just sing musicals and songs in your head, and like just keep going, and that's what I did. And then I saw the poster that said pain is temporary, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, I just have about an hour left. If I just keep going, this pain will be temporary, and eventually the pain will stop. And I just kept going, and I can't believe it, because so many times I wanted to stop. I kept like making promises with myself, like, okay, you're gonna eventually stop. Like, you can stop in a couple minutes. Like,
And it's cool to push yourself to the edge like that, and then you kept on going.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
just
learn
like
a
kept
lot
pushing
then,
myself to the edge. And what was
Shows you
crazy
you're
is like,
capable of and how tough you are.
I looked back at my times, and there were 2 miles that I did it over 11 minutes. And I know that was the times I was like, just in a couple like seconds, like you can stop.
But the rest of it was like 8:30s.
And when you think, like, I was so used to doing quick miles, and then by the end you're doing like 11 something miles, and you're just like exhausted and barely can, because you're getting slower, it takes that much longer to hit a mile. It was insane. What would be your advice for an aspiring actress getting ready for a big college audition? Oh, I get this question a lot. One thing that really helped me on college auditions is if you're in the waiting room and you're waiting and you're listening to like the amazing singers in the waiting room, just keep telling yourself this, which always like helps me a lot, is there's only one you. And everyone brings something special to the table, and as long as you've worked hard and you've put the time in to prepare your material, and then know that what you have to bring is so unique and special, like there's nothing no one else can do in any other room that can compare to your you, because everyone is so uniquely specific, and everyone is going to have that one thing that makes them that's special. So just like know that in your heart, and you'll be fine. Because as long as you're aware of that, the pressure comes off. Because at the end of the day, we're all so unique that it's like there's no competition in that vein. So just do your best. And also for college auditions, they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for someone that they can make better, right? So they're looking for someone who they can work with. So take that in with you too, because sometimes you'll be in the audition and they'll throw you curveballs like, this time try it like this or do this, and be game to play, because that's what they're looking for, is someone they can mold. So you're not supposed to be picture perfect when you go in. You're supposed to be someone that's working on the craft, that's learning, that's at a phase where they have further to go. So take comfort in that as well. Those are my best college auditions advice. What is oh, thank you guys. Oh my gosh, I miss Amy. I don't know about you guys, but I miss Amy. I mean, I also, like, I'm happy you're here, Pete, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. Amy's awesome. I miss Amy. We don't see her enough.
I know, I miss Amy. I really miss Amy. You're taking my masterclass in January with BAA. Can't wait. Oh my gosh, yes. Christy, thank you for doing this live. Really miss them. Oh my gosh, of course. Hold on, I'm trying to read everything. Okay. Coming to BPP in Sacramento in December. Yes. Favorite musical. Oh my god, that's impossible. I'm sorry. I have too many. What is your favorite thing about doing workshops? I love doing workshops. I didn't realize how much I would love doing them. I guess my favorite thing is seeing people transform. Like someone starts off somewhere and then when sometimes the craziest thing, literally the craziest thing, can I tell you guys, and this might be something for you, is that when you're singing a song, it might just be that you have the wrong story in your head and that there's a deeper connection you can find within yourself to play. And so sometimes just changing the story for someone will completely change the way that they perform the song for the better. And it's crazy. You'll see someone sing a song and it's like, who are you singing to? What was your motivation to sing this? And what were you thinking of when you were singing the song? And someone will say something and you're like, oh, no. How about this? Let's play with this. And then they will completely transform. It's crazy. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's other things. But that's my favorite is when sometimes it's the littlest thing that you say. Like, let's play in this place for a second and see what that brings out. And it's just beautiful to see, like, transformations and stuff. If I were to get a tattoo, oh my gosh, if I wanted to get a tattoo, wait, where is that? Oh my gosh, I can't find it. Too many things. I can't find the tattoo thing anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. If the question is, if you wanted to get, if I want to get a tattoo with your handwriting on it, how can I contact you? Ooh, I've been saying that I wanted to get a P.O. box for a while, and I just started looking into it. So eventually, once Amy and I start our YouTube, we'll try to do a P.O. box, which would be really cool. What's the best advice I've ever had? You know what? I think the best advice that has ever come my way has been stuff that's like privately learned within yourself, right? So it's so crazy because I know so many people say this all the time, but like genuinely realizing that you are special and loving yourself is the most important thing. And it takes time, you know, when you're born, we all have these insecurities, like, is my hair okay? Is my face okay? Is this okay? Am I okay? And when you realize that you are enough and that you're special and that's like, that is the ultimate. But for someone to say it to you, it's impossible until you actually come to that realization on your own. So while that is the best advice to love yourself, right? It's easy to say, a lot easier to feel. So it takes time, but eventually, if you're not feeling it now, one day you will. You'll realize how special and how magical you are, just as you. So I guess that's the best advice. Where can I meet and greet with me? You can we do meet and greets at the Broadway Princess Party. And if I do my album, you can meet and greet with me there. Be performing in Japan. Do you know that? Yes, Anastasia is going worldwide, which is amazing. Oh wow, you're deck crewing Mamma Mia. That's amazing. What a fun show. Best Carrie memory. This is a gross Carrie memory. But I, one day before Carrie, had a huge Jamba Juice before the show. And the first number in the show is In. Well, like, I come out and I have, like, a little moment. But then there's that song In. And it's, like, a big dance. Well, for us, it was, like, a dance number. Like, very interpretive dance number. And I guess I drank the Jamba Juice way too fast. And I felt so sick. And right after In, I ran off the stage and threw it up. And Derek found out about it and was completely disgusted. Because clearly there wasn't enough time for whatever reason. I guess there wasn't, I think I like washed out my mouth, but like I did not, like there was no toothbrush backstage, so I ate a mint, but it wasn't like, you know, and so he was freaking out that he had to kiss me, and he was like, Christy, like, just barely kiss me. I was like, I promise you, but he was so disgusted, and we always laugh about that story, because, yeah, how often, that's never happened in my whole career that I've thrown up backstage. Should I have not told that story?
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
You weren't listening to that story? This is why I miss Amy. Amy would have been like, yeah, I love it.
I mean, is that bad that I just said I wasn't listening?
Yeah, I was talking about the time I threw up backstage.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay,
Sounds
whatever.
gross.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Can you sing us something? No, not right now. I'm in the high of my marathon win. What would your advice be to those of you who want to go into musical theater? You have chosen the coolest profession of all time, because not only is it amazing to learn a craft in general, because it teaches you insane discipline. I always think of performing and acting kind of like karate. You go from like white belt or whatever to black belt, and it takes so much time to get there from the start to the finish, and so much determination and hard work. And also the act of pretending to be someone else means you have to have incredible empathy for others and understanding, because you have to put yourself into other people's shoes for so long that you kind of, as you meet normal people throughout your life, you become more evolved in that you become way more understanding of a human being, because you yourself have stepped into the shoes of someone who has all types of flaws, and you realize that unconditional love is truly loving someone and realizing that we all are who we are because of our life experience and how we were raised and the things that we have seen throughout our lives. That's what makes us up to be who we are. And because of that, because of that, if somebody has not learned a certain lesson at one point or another and on that path, they just haven't learned the lesson yet. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. They just maybe haven't learned the lesson yet. And so you have an eternal amount of more empathy for people. And so that is what is great about being an actor. Favorite ABBA song? Slipping through my fingers. I Have a Dream. What's the name of the game? I guess in that order. And then maybe Mamma Mia. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to turn into like a Q&A, but let's do it. Oh, I love you, Courtney. Yes, one day. Someone screen record this. Oh, my heart. So how are you? Do you have any advice for mental health? Keeping that well, running is a great form of mental health. What's another good, Pete, any other advice on mental health? Running.
I mean, you're always going to have challenges. Just try to be grateful for what you have and stay positive and try to help others when you can. Yeah, just try to be grateful. That's the most important thing.
Of course, Pete has this as his answer, helping others, because he's always the person that's in service of everyone. But if you ever really want to feel happy,
so are you, Christy.
Help someone else. Do something kind for someone else.
So are you.
And you will feel good knowing that you're doing something kind for someone else.
But mostly be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
You don't need to want more. Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're down on yourself, you can always find good things about yourself. Anyone else that's in your life, you can always find good in anyone. That's
true.
That's the most important thing.
You can always find good in everyone. Empathy. But also, I will say other things that have helped me is to recognize this. This is something that not enough people talk about. Happiness is work. It actually takes work to be a happy person. And I think part of that is situating your life in such a way that you have it together. And there will be times that life will throw you curveballs, but if you wake up in the morning genuinely wanting to take care of yourself, when you take care of yourself, you're able to take care of the people around you. So one of the great things for mental health will be for me, I always say be your own boyfriend. Well, I have a boyfriend, but try to be your own boyfriend to you.
Never heard that.
I know, because I made it up,
I've
Pete.
never heard that before.
Well, I made it up to myself.
No, that's cool. No, I just thought it was a thing. I was like, wow, that's fine. All right, no, it's good. It is good. It is good.
Because, for example, I think of the things things that you like. If you for example, if you like flowers, get yourself flowers, or light a candle for yourself at night. Or clean up your room, or like do like little favors that like maybe a boyfriend would do for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Like, eat a healthy meal, go jogging, like be kind to yourself, like in a loving and kind way, and you'll be infinitely happier and be able to give that energy, save that energy to give that energy out to others. All these hearts, I love it. Thank you, I.C. Miller. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Oh, thank you so much. Do you think In My Dreams is a good audition song for Fantine and Les Mis? Oh yeah. What do you think, Pete? Yeah. It's definitely, I'm going to be honest, it's a lot higher sing than Fantine. So if you can sing In My Dreams well and hit those notes, but know that actual Fantine doesn't even have to sing that high. But yes, that would be a good song. Who agrees? Oh, thank you. I like to hug. Research. You're supposed to be doing a research project right now. Go for it. Christy.
What's the topic?
Yeah, tell us the topic. Doing a research project. Someone wrote, I'm supposed to be doing a research project right now. Christy, life advice is everything. I've missed it so much. Oh, thank you. I want to go to a musical theater so bad, but recently... Oh, All-State Choir! Oh, that's amazing. I never made All-State. I made regionals, though, but I never made... It's not easy. It's really not easy to make All-States in choir. That's really, really tricky. Congratulations. Oh, and jazz... Top jazz choir. Singing is my passion, but I feel like I'm not good. I'm pretty sure you're amazing, and you should keep going on that path. Here's another secret. All people think they're not good. Even like the top of the top people, at all times we all think, but that's part of it, right? We have our insecurities, but it's being humble and realizing, but instead of thinking of it like I'm not good, think of it in a way of like, I'm learning karate. Like I think that's the best way to explain it, is like, I'm on my way to black belt. And even when you're at black belt, if somebody who's at black belt just sat on their butt and watched TV for 2 months, they're not going to be as good at being a black belt. So you have to keep training. It's a muscle. Acting is a muscle. Singing is a muscle. Performing in front of people is a muscle. So the more that you do it, the better you get at it. So think of it like that. If you're thinking, oh, I'm not good, just don't think I'm not good. Just shift that to, I'm just on the path, right? Maybe I'm not at black belt yet, but I will be. And when I am at black belt, I have to keep training. So feel like, pat yourself on the back for how far you are right now, and know that it's a long process to get to black belt. It takes a really long time. And to honor yourself for where you are, but know that those insecurities are within all of us. Do you have an eye out for the Notebook musical? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was happening. I mean, yeah, that would be incredible. Favorite backstage Anastasia memory? John Bolton at all times. I think at one time he came into my room and did a reveal of himself in a sequin shirt and danced around for a second and then ran out, and that was pretty much the most hilarious moment of my life. But there's so many fun John Bolton moments where he would just come into the room and just like be wearing a silly costume or say something funny and make me laugh. He was always like the ultimate silly man backstage. Also, Caroline O'Connor was always cracking jokes. And my moments backstage with Mary Beth were just always so heartfelt, so yeah. And Derek is also hilarious. I'm so sorry to hear that, Susan. My prayers go out to you. Do I have any advice? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm 22 and I'm studying engineering. Is it too late to do musical theater? No, it's never too late to do musical theater.
Finish the engineering and maybe do it afterwards.
Oh yeah, if you're 22, you're probably almost done engineering.
She's put a lot of work in, might as well finish it.
Yeah, you put a lot of work. Finish the engineering. studies, but you can absolutely
pursue the passion afterwards.
Do you want to know something that's so crazy? I did a masterclass one day with these two girls, and they were studying like engineering or something like engineering at Columbia, and they were so incredible in the masterclass that I thought they were like, I thought they'd been, I mean, I think they had been training a little on the side, but they were so advanced and far along. And I was like, so you guys are going to do musical theater? And they were like, no, actually, it's kind of a weird thing. We're like engineering students. Like, it was something like that. And I just couldn't believe it. But that happens all the time where people have two passions. I know for me, I was doing musical theater and I was also had a passion in songwriting. So just know that you can do it all. Like, my dad always gave this advice, and I always think it's the best advice. The world is going to give you moments where you just focus your energy on one thing or the other. And so that's happened to me, where there have been times it's like, okay, I'm focusing on my music right now, or okay, I'm focusing on running right now, or okay, I'm focusing on, and you just pour your energy into what seems right in the moment. And if you want to pour your energy for a minute into musical theater, and maybe that gives you more minutes of being like, I need to keep doing this, or maybe you go, I'm going to go back to engineering for a little bit and then I'm going to go back. That happens all the time, and know that there's no right or wrong answer. It's just where you are in that moment. And yes, you absolutely can do musical theater if you want, for sure, especially at 20. It goes for anyone at any time. Yeah. You are the absolute sweetheart. Thank you. How did you start on Broadway? Oh, I went to college. But I also started doing, like, my high school shows. That's how I really started. For people on the chat in SoCal, go see Orange. Oh, yeah. Orange County, Anastasia is on tour. So go and see Anastasia in Orange County. As an actor, what do you think makes great stage manager? I think the stage manager is the hardest job out of all of the jobs on stage, because the stage manager not only has to be the director while the actual director is gone, like has to oversee. Obviously the director is the director, but she has to oversee and make sure that all the actors are holding up the director's vision. But the stage manager also has to keep an eye on every single element of the show and make sure everybody's doing their job in tip-top shape, and has to organize every little thing. And what you don't realize behind the scenes is that there's all this crazy stuff that happens. So maybe before the show there's, you're meeting with a celebrity after a show, or there's a special rehearsal for a new put-in for a new person that's coming in, or there's a special rehearsal for a new person coming in, and the stage manager has to organize all of that. Not only organize the timing and put out the emails for like the breakdowns for the timing of where everyone has to be, but the stage manager also has to like run the rehearsals, and it's a lot of work. So I guess the best thing about the one thing that you have to do about being a stage manager, oh my god, it's saying I have 1:53 time remaining. So this has never happened to me. This must be my longest live stream ever. So it's gonna stop in like a minute. But yes, stage managers, I guess the most important advice for being a stage manager is think 3 steps ahead of everyone else, because you are in charge of it all. Try to be the person that has the answer before anyone asks the question. Christy, could you possibly save this? Everybody can save it. I think if you guys want to save it, you can just save it on Capture. If you just download the app Capture, but maybe I'm wrong. That's what I do. I download Capture and then I just record it from there. I don't know if that works for you guys, but that's what works for me. Hard time picking a college. Guys, this thing is going to end in like a minute, but I'll have to do another one of these. I will for sure, where I'll answer your questions, I promise. And I'll make it like a post so that you know it's coming. But this has been so much fun. Yes, John. Yes, Grace. Yes, everyone. Rocco. Love you all. My biggest advice is love yourself. And you are light. You are perfect how you are. And we ran a marathon, and we're grateful.
Very, very grateful.
Love you guys. I have to go. I wish I could stay all
It
night.
was a lot of fun.
It was a lot
Christy,
of fun.
you were awesome.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you. Okay, have a good night, you guys. Love you all. Bye.